This is Erica of Beats That Set My Pulse, and I'm with the beautiful, incandescent Sarah Aganazian of Esemae.
Agajanian.
Agajanian of Esemae. I will get that right in the future. And yeah, we're excited to talk about your musical journey and new future projects and things that you're excited to release. So yeah, I think first off, I was going to make the joke that you're wearing a tie-dye dress and I was going to actually wear one. And I know we often show up to things matching on accident.
You're feeling the tie-dye vibe today.
Yeah, I feel like it's usually bright colors though, and I say that we're like the peacock pairing, you know?
Yeah.
I love that, or like bright lipstick, but you didn't wear it this time. Anyway, I guess starting with your name, where does Esemae come from?
So it took a long time to figure that out. That was a
Okay.
journey in itself. What's my name, you know?
Yeah.
It is my initials, phonetic.
Okay.
So my initials are Sarah Maria Agajanian, which is S-M-A. So I spell it out, E-S-E-M-A-E.
Interesting. I like it. My middle name's also Marie.
Is it?
Yeah,
I
so
didn't
I'd
know
be
that.
Emma, I guess. If yeah. If you
Oh,
yeah.
look at these.
Yeah. Very
something
nice.
else we have in common.
I know. I was going to say, so rewinding back a little over 2 years when we first met, it was a Wonder and Awe production. So I know the lovely Brenda Carsey curates those events. You were playing on Sunset right next to American Barbershop. And I remember you wearing this leopard print dress and your vocals were just insane. Just like hit me like a brick wall. And I was just like, who is this woman? Yeah. And so, yeah, that was the first time. And I remember the specific song that really hit me was Machine. Yes.
Ah, yes.
Yes. And I mean, I have the lyrics written down, but it's something like, it was just so powerful. And I felt like it really sort of invigorated me. And even if you were in down mood, you're just, especially you with your big smile when you're singing, I was just like, wow, like this chick really knows what's up. She can pump you up. But I know that song's not released yet. So are there plans for that?
Well, you know, of course, there have been plans to release and record these songs for years, and they have not come into fruition yet.
Okay.
I've been on a path of working with not the correct people, and it's kind of been like a cycle that I've been in for like a decade now.
Yeah.
And I believe the cycle is over.
Yeah.
I tell myself it's over. So yeah, I'm hoping to make these songs as soon as the vibe is right and the right people are in the right alignment with me. It's for whatever reason, it just hasn't hit yet, but I know the song will get recorded.
Yeah, because many of these songs, so Machine is one of 5 bangers, I would say. I know I have them all.
I like it when you say bangers,
Yeah,
by the way.
Machine, Motivate, Sacred Kind, Human Life, and Awaken the Tribe. And I know you've played most of these live whenever I've seen you perform. And I think I maybe seen you like 6 times, some unofficial events. But yeah, I mean, most of these songs, the common thread is they're all songs that really sort of pump you up. They amplify you. And that's what we need right now. I mean, I think people are very deflated during this time, and they like need that sort of revival, which they can get through music like yours. And so I'm just like, how can I help with this bacon in the oven? How can I get it?
You're helping right now, Erica.
I know. I love it. So I guess going to the lyrics of Back to Powerful Machine, sorry, where is I? Because I really want to speak to this. Here we go. This heart is a powerful machine. It gets dirty and stays clean. She will go down on her knees and bless you with all your dreams. And I remember, I mean, most recently when you performed this at your birthday gathering, I did fall down on my knees. And I will do that at future events moving forward. But I love this. Don't disrespect my machine. She will stand up and she will scream. This heart is a powerful machine. She may, this is the line. May she pump again after she bleeds. I'm like lathered in chills just as I hear that, just as I re-say that. So man, I mean, and I remember when you played this song also at the Hotel Cafe, which was one of your bigger shows with, you know, kind of a larger sort of instrumental presence. It was just like the whole room. I mean,
that was my last show before I went on a hiatus of performing for like about a year.
Yeah.
And I had some life stuff happen, and that was the last. And it was interesting because I knew it was going to be like the last show for a while, because it took so much for that show to happen. It was a Saturday night, Oscar weekend, Grammy weekend. I think they fell on the same weekend in 2019.
Yeah.
And Hotel
was it
Cafe.
March?
It was it was like March, I think, March 23rd.
Okay.
And it just was so difficult to make that show happen.
Yeah.
And for everyone that was on stage with me, everything about it.
How was it? How many? Like 8 people on stage?
Yeah, it was like I had like 7, and then we had an MC, Kelly Mack,
yes.
who we're in love with each other. I'm hoping that we cycle back through musically. We're both on our own paths right now to come back to our musical selves. We've had a lot of life stuff the last couple years.
Yeah.
But that show, the actual performance itself was perfection for me. Mm-hmm. All the stuff before and after it was not, but I mean, that was kind of when people were like singing along to some of my songs and stuff, and it was a packed house, and I was like, okay.
I'm pretty sure I was like on stage. I was like crawling up as close as I can get because I felt it so much, and I was so moved. They were like, "Who's that person?"
My parents
and your
came
parents
too.
came.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah, it was a really nice sort of collective. But going back to Kelly Mack, how did you decide to even have an MC in your music?
Well, I mean, I became a singer when I was 23 years old.
Okay.
It was a while ago. I'm not going to reveal it quite yet.
You don't need to. If anybody pressures you, I'll come get them.
You got my back, girl.
That's right.
So 23, I started singing. I didn't know I was a vocalist. I always, tinkered on the piano. I've been playing piano since I was a kid.
Okay.
And always wrote lyrics, but I just never sang. I started singing at 23. And I forgot what I was talking about. What was the question?
Kelly,
how
you
Kelly
got
Mack.
it? Yeah.
So I fell in love with this band called, House of Vibe. They're on the West Side.
Okay.
And they're awesome. And it's like, it's run by this guy named Anthony Brewster, and he's a very well-known West Side, LA-based musician.
Okay.
Everybody goes down there. They jam. They sing. It's R&B, soul, rock, hip hop. Lots of MCs come in and out, and it's a lot of freestyle or a lot of execution in that way.
Yeah.
So that's when I was like, I think I need to sing, because I was surrounded by all these MCs. So it's kind of like MCs have always kind of been like this, like puncture of like, I want to sing.
Yeah.
Especially after they riff a bit, I'm like, I want to sing. So it had always been this thing of mine to be like, I'm going to get good enough that Kelly Mack will get on stage with me.
Wow.
That was a goal.
Wow.
When I was 23, 24, 25.
I love that.
So when I started booking bigger shows locally and started having some good grooves that I know that she could lay into, I hit her up, and she's like, hell yeah.
Yeah. First of all, I love that it was a female that you aspired to. But also, I think, I mean, I would just say R&B and hip hop, it's very daunting if you're like, okay, I want to be a singer and I want to get to that level, because you have to be very comfortable freestyling and being spontaneous, which I know you are, and that makes you unique. When I sort of, I don't know, I wouldn't say compare, but when I assess, your sort of style alongside other female, musician friends of mine or singers, you are comfortable. And I remember you saying this, you're like, I'm actually more comfortable without structure.
Yes.
But that's like, I would say 90% of people would not say that. So that's like awesome.
I like the free fall.
Yeah.
I like magic. I like not having I like being thrown out into this ether of like, how do I really feel right now?
Yeah.
And then, and then stuff just starts, I can just start freestyling and singing in a way that I'm downloading some kind of consciousness that we all have access to in that moment, and then grabbing that vibe, which is really what it's about,
Yeah.
And that's why I think I like jamming probably the best. Maybe that's why it's been difficult to make these records.
The JAM.
The JAM. It's all about the jam. Because if there's a jam, I'm like, I'm there.
Yeah. That is just, it's so funny because, again, I mean, to most people, to not have structure or to not have practice something, it is so intimidating to them, and they'd be a deer in the headlights, but you are just like, come get it. Like, that's where I thrive. And I think that's great that you found an environment where maybe it's sort of curated that kind of audacity, because there could be more formal type training where that's not really welcomed.
It's really interesting when you watch MCs, and some of them are rapping stuff that they've written and that are in other songs,
Yeah.
But especially for House of Vibe, I mean, it's the best of the best come through there, you know, and they'll go up there and they'll just riff, and it's just like, oh my God, it's so good. And I'm like, I mean, it's the best. I don't know. So it's very inspiring. So that's how I got into contact with Kelly Mack.
Got it. No, I love it. Quick little tangent. So speaking of your ability to improvise, so at our friend Jess Jones's house party, she's also an incredible musician, more of an acoustic folk style, but you were ready to jam. And Sean Fortier, also our friend who's a musician, he's in the band called The Natural Supernatural. He was your trusty guitar player, and he's also very comfortable jamming, which is really great. You guys pair nicely. But I remember you were just looking at the sky and the trees around, and you just you created this verse that I thought was so beautiful, and I was videotaping it. And when I asked you afterwards, I was like, you've practiced that before, right? You're like, no, I was just taking it I was just the moment. And I said, what? Like, what? I couldn't believe it. So this is really nice because I feel like, again, this is a message we probably all need to hear now during these sort of darker times. I always look at life like a bright light. No matter how dark it gets outside, I will always find a way to be all right. Trust the way you move. Trust the way you feel. Stand up. Be who you are and be real. So important. Authenticity is like, I don't know.
It's the new currency.
My number one. Yeah. Because I'll always be in love with this life. I'll always be in love with this life. And
I wrote that, huh?
Just randomly.
See, I love that you wrote it down because I don't remember that.
I know, and I'm like, I'm going to crystallize this and make
Can
this
you send that to me? Actually, that's pretty good.
Yes, I will. I know it is really good. And also, I mean, even in terms of the melody, I have it on video, so you can always bring this to life and make this more official. But again, it just blew me away because, again, most other musicians I speak to, they really want to have had tried something out, and they're more afraid of the spontaneous jam.
Well, yeah, and it's interesting because I'm actually I paint as well, and you know that.
Yes.
And I've been painting my entire life, and art is a very big part of who I am. I'm abstract, expressionist.
Yes.
The way I paint is the way that I like to make music. I like to just grab different buckets of color and throw them onto canvas, see what happens.
Yeah, yeah.
And then from there, the vision comes through. But I start typically with emotion.
You have
to get going. I start with emotion, and I start throwing emotion and color to the canvas, which is similar with music. I like, maybe the reason the record hasn't been made yet is because I do want to make the record in a very, let's just throw stuff at the wall and grab what feels good in that moment. I'm not so committed to what has already been made because it changes and it morphs. And who I am at that time when it's getting made is going to be completely different than who I was when I wrote some of these songs years ago.
Yeah. So speaking of those 5 bangers, I know how much you love when I say banger.
It's a great word, everybody.
Have any of them morphed like throughout the years? Because some of these you've written, 5 years ago?
Yes. Well, in certain times, of course.
Yeah. I didn't even include that, so you have 6 bangers total. So I was going to say, so in certain times, there's a song that is just now up on Spotify, and you're in the process of kind of doing some promo for it. But, and we are in the, I don't know, crux of what you would call in certain times, but you did not write this during COVID.
No, I wrote this like 4 years ago, 5 years, right before Trump won, actually. So I wrote it July, and actually I wrote it with 2 guys, Callie Cleve, Brandon and Ian, and their presence is pretty known in the hip hop community as well.
Okay.
So the way we made the song was just throwing sound, and the song that you'll hear on Spotify is from 4 years ago, and it was tracked once, written in the moment. And I didn't even write the lyrics down. It's just all in the moment, tracked like that, which was a really good time.
Yeah.
And I like to work that way.
Yeah.
But it was uncertain then. I've always been ahead. Like, I wrote this song called Together We Rise, which ended up being the main slogan for the Women's March. I wrote that years before the Women's March. Like, I've always just had these hits that are like years out. I think it happens to me first. I feel it and have to go through it, and then all of a sudden I'm out of it. And
You're
now everybody,
a prophet.
Yeah, I'm like a prophet. And then I wake up and I'm like, I'm ready to rock and roll. Everybody, everybody else is now in where I just was for the last couple of years. I'm like, son of a, and we're still here. You know?
I must say, you really are like a looking glass because, again, out of all the female friends I have, you are somebody that has the most clairvoyance. It's like you've told me things. This is going to happen, Erica, and then sure have it. Like 6 months later, She was like, she was fucking right.
I know. My intuition is strong.
Yeah.
Like we all have it though. It's a muscle. It has to be honored and used and kind of strengthened.
Yeah.
And I've really strengthened mine through the life experiences I've had.
Yeah.
Because I had to have my intuition to survive.
Yeah.
So now when I get a hit, like I'm like, like it'll kind of keep tapping me. I always see my intuition as like tapping me on the right of my shoulder. It's like maybe it's like an angel or a guide, but they're just like ting, 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 ting. You know what I mean? Like that, don't go hang out with that person. That person.
Well,
you
can
know
I
what
ask
mean?
you a question? Did you have that tap when you decided to, because this was impressive and phenomenal how quickly you did it, and sort of, again, with seems like spur of the moment, but the decision to paint the Armenian flag on your face.
Okay, so
that was unreal.
Which is wild because now System of a Down's new movie, or their music video that they're going to release, they all have the Armenian flag projected on their face.
No way.
There's something about, and I'm half Armenian, and I don't speak Armenian, so my condolences to, or my apologies to my Armenian community, but I'm very much Armenian energetically and in my blood. Like I can.
And you're following all of the
what's going on, and I think we all, and this goes with my Armenian friends too, my clients and stuff. We all kind of like have a very similar execution of creativity.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been through so much as a culture, and it's in our DNA, and we're carrying around this very heavy, it's almost like I've cleared a lot of the heaviness. I'm very grateful through a lot of different modalities and work in my life, healing modalities. However, it's almost like it's this like an ancient depth that I feel, and I've always felt like I have like this ancient like knowing.
You're Cleopatra reincarnated, pretty much. Or if there was like an Armenian one, that's you.
Yeah, it's probably somewhere back there, you know. But there's something like that, and so it's the Armenian thing. I just felt like expressing. You know, we're all inside right now a lot more than we're used to because of COVID, and I am normally very busy with makeup during the holiday season. I'm a professional makeup artist, and that's how I've been able to stay in LA. And I miss painting people's faces. And with everything that was going on with Armenia being attacked by Azerbaijan and influenced through Turkey, I was like, I need to flip. Can I curse in here? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I know. Kat did a lot as well.
But I need to paint the flag on my face. And I'm actually going to use that image. I did body paint on my face for the single. It didn't make it to Spotify. I didn't get to it in time to change the image, but it'll be up for my
songs that you could use it
for,
I'm
going to use it for promotional for uncertain times because I sent the song to 4 years ago, but I sent the song to some of my Armenian friends that I love, and they're like, "Oh, this song resonates so deeply," you know?
Well, what was so cool about the paint too is that you, the way you filmed it, I know you did it as like a collection, so it almost is like a movie of the process.
Oh yeah,
which I thought was so cool, and I really enjoy that you do that as well, even when you're painting, so people can see the process, because we're all curious, and you even put, what music you're listening to, so we know what sort of like muses you, I guess. But that flat, it was so incredible, and it was also right before Halloween, but I knew something was up. I knew you were up with something because usually you get back to my text messages pretty quickly, and it had been 3 hours, and I'm like, I hope she's okay. And then you send me a photo of, and I was like, that's what you were doing.
I was busy painting my face.
And it was unreal. But yeah, the theatrics, gosh, I feel like you should perform with
you know what? I've always, a lot of this stuff comes down to budget and but I really would love to, I've made some music videos in the past,
Yeah.
But I would really love to just bring in like my visual art in with the branding of my music.
You can do like fluorescent paint on your body, and then do a music video or something where there's a black light, and it's tricky because
so
all
much
you
to
see
do.
is the paint on the moving body. Oh, it could be.
It's endless when you bring color and sound together. It's literally and then you got film.
Oh, we know that.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, what's so cool is I came to one of your outdoor art gallery, and there was a painting that really spoke to me. It had these mushrooms that were kind of fluid. They almost looked to be dancing, and it was bright paint. And that spoke to me. And then you told me later that you had and me in mind painting that, and it was like the two mushrooms in the front were me and you dancing at a show.
Oh yeah, the whole time I painted that painting, I thought of you.
That's awesome. I love that. Yeah, so good. But yeah, I love that. You know, the color aspect. We always seem to again appreciate bright colors. But yeah, I feel like you specifically can do a lot of mixed medium, which others again just might not even come to their mind creatively. So yeah.
I see myself more, you know, obviously I'm a musician, but I do really see myself first and foremost as an artist.
Yeah.
Than like as the bass.
Yeah. Well, that's so, because Sean Forte, he actually wants to sort of dance his kind of stage environment up either with lights or colors. So I feel like, again, you probably could be somebody that, I don't know, what should I say, can be like a consultant for him in that regard.
Creative direction.
Yeah, creative direction. Yeah.
Oh, everybody calls me, trust.
Yeah.
I got people.
But, you know.
What's the project? Okay, what's the?
But again, speaking to that is like, you know, you could always be the one that like comes up with all the color and the face paint and you're the backup singer or something. Because like we said, you're not only is your presence together when he's playing guitar with you, but I feel like your vocal harmonies could be really good together. It could
Sean Forte?
Sean Forte, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Sean's great.
Yeah.
I just said, hey, if you want some backup vocals on that song that we listened to the other night, let me know. And he said. So
speaking of your vocals, I didn't even really, I don't know, provide, at least to the audience, my impression of your vocals. What really drew me, again, when I first saw you at that Echo Park, I should have mentioned that the Wonder in All event was part of Echo Park Rising. I don't know if I mentioned that, but August 2018. And mind you, I had only been in LA for like a month and a half, so I was just starting to get exposed to music. But you were somebody that caught my eye quickly initially, and somebody, again, that I've stayed in touch with, not just as a friend, but again, I'm such a believer in your music. But you have a very rich, raspy voice that... again, I don't always hear that in a lot of other female singers. And I was thinking of and I know sometimes you don't necessarily like to be compared to other singers, but what comes to mind is Cat Power, Feist, Stevie Nicks, a little Janice, and I know you're a big fan of Janice. And then, I don't know why, but Natalie Merchant as well.
I love Natalie Merchant.
Yeah.
That's very influenced by her, just growing up listening to her all the time.
All right, cool. And but I feel like your voice is also like fortified by this like fiery, again, as I was saying, sort of incandescent spirit. And I feel like you could howl too, you know. You could, and again, not a strong point that everybody necessarily has, but that's what comes to mind with your vocals. And I do think it comes through very much with Uncertain Times. And you even have sort of this backing. I don't even want to attempt to try it, but like
backtrack, the vocal backtrack of Uncertain Times.
Ooh, like I don't know, I can't do
it's just like it's very actually
Is it
Grace Slick.
It's
very Grace Slick. Yeah, we just had me do like O's and ahs in the background, like big, and then we reverbed it out, and then he spread it out, and then he pasted it behind. It was great. Good vocal production. Just like go in there and riff it. Yeah. Just layer, and then we'll just cut and paste, you know. I love that. You know?
That was so cool. I
can really push my voice when I'm recording. Like far.
Yeah.
I just don't get tired.
Nice.
Like it would have to be like 2-3 hours of doing it, and then I'm like, okay.
And also
that goes for other things too.
And being sufficiently warmed up too. Yeah.
See,
maybe with a little fungi magic.
Oh, hey. Fungi magic. The medicine of the world,
That's
let me tell you.
I know, man.
Big believer.
Yeah. But also because you mentioned your Armenian friends really appreciated the lyrics of Uncertain Times, so I thought this would be a nice point to say what some of those lyrics are. So you can't run and you can't hide from this crazy ride, which, again, this is all very relevant
what's happening.
to the tension, turmoil, chaos that we're experiencing right now. There will be an end if you'll be so kind, because we're living in uncertain times. And then I love this, more love, more love, more love right now. It seems to be, you know, unfortunately, in some regards, our population is polarized, and we seem to be sort of putting blame. But I think, again, the way out is really just being more kind.
Yeah, and going in, and a lot of that starts with being kind to yourself.
Yes.
You know,
the boundaries part.
yes.
As long as you set sufficient boundaries, then you can be a kinder person.
Yeah.
And then
you have to take care of yourself first if you want to. And how, we teach others how to treat us.
Yeah.
And what that looks like.
Yeah.
And that's how we facilitate healthier relationships with ourselves and others. And it's really important because it's like, you can't run and you can't hide.
Mm-hmm.
There will be an end if you'll be so kind, because we're living in uncertain times. So please keep peace in mind.
Mm-hmm.
You are going to have to be the one. The world is only going to get louder, crazier on outside of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to be like this.
To cancel
over
that
here,
noise.
over here.
Yeah.
And in order to get rid of the madness, you have to clear internal madness.
Yeah.
And that's what the answer is. We can all say that it's this person's fault and it's this person's fault. And obviously there are some people that are held accountable to certain things.
Yeah.
But in the end, we master our own energy and we are responsible for how we are in this world. And if we can all take care of ourselves at the utmost care, then we'll be better for others. And then, we're not as judgmental. Even if somebody has completely different viewpoints.
Yeah.
I come down to the whole point right now where I'm just
the
like...
election.
Yeah. I'm like, in the end, people, there's all these enemies outside of us.
Yeah.
The common denominator we all have right now is that we have a virus. That's it.
Yeah.
Whether or not you think it's inflated or exaggerated or if it's as dangerous as they say, or maybe it is.
Mask wars, all that. Yeah.
It doesn't matter because it is the one thing that's kind of effing up everything.
Yeah.
It's like the elephant in the room. Everybody's blaming all these other people for why we're in a pandemic. It's like, we're in a pandemic.
We
suck.
We need to actually put blame on the
actual virus.
On the Rona.
Nobody's mad at Corona.
Yeah.
Corona's just out there.
I know,
like,
right? It's like we need to be mad at the actual
virus.
fucking virus.
He's like hanging out with everybody, just like taking over the population, and everybody's like, it's this guy's fault, and it's this guy's fault, and this person's not wearing a mask. Like, can we just all agree that the virus sucks?
It's this microscopic monster.
Yeah, that we
and that's
can't
what we have
fucking
to
see.
think about.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like you said in the very end, keep peace in mind.
Yeah.
And then I also love when you said, let's be the it crowd. It's like, I almost feel like the it crowd is the people that sort of rise above this and sort of
and still maintain our humanity, and still let's be this, be the it crowd. Like let's set an example.
Yes.
Show each other how it's done.
Yeah.
To still be together because we are here for each other. In the end, it's like people are so divisive right now. I didn't know that this was going to happen.
Yeah.
I think there was a prophecy in it for sure. But like in the end, if there's a natural disaster or something's going down or people need saving, who's there?
Yeah.
Your fellow man, your fellow human gathers with other human. And they save each other.
Yeah.
And they're there for each other. And they help rebuild communities. And they help feed each other. And we're not shown that humanity online. Online is literally just the barf of our society.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like, remember who we are. And I think part of the problem is we're all locked inside, because with quarantine and all this stuff. So we're not really interacting with each other.
Yeah.
Once we can come back in culture and music and conversations and sit and talk with each other and come from our different realities and go, okay, what's the base? What do we have in common? We just have to be willing to not be so triggered by those conversations.
Yeah.
Right now is a perfect time for everybody who's going through their own stuff to heal their own triggers. So that way, when the world opens back up again, we can actually talk to each other.
Yeah.
We can.
What's interesting though is some people this might have been such a long time of reflection and deliberation that they're like, maybe I don't really want to pursue music professionally. I do think it's going to be.
I've in that. I'm like a.
I think it's because people have had a lot of time to marinate and stew in their thoughts. And it's going to be a little bit harder to resurrect, after all this. And so I kind of feel like the people that do come through on the other side, at least moving forward with, again, maybe a career that they had started that got squashed during this time, it just shows that they want it more if they are, coming out the other side.
And then the thing is about attachment and identity is like, when we attach ourselves to things or a way of being or a career or a creative purpose, even a spiritual purpose, if we become attached to our spiritual purpose, we're decimated when it leaves us. Yeah. So I think the really great thing about right now is we're all learning to lose our identity. Because when you lose your identity and your attachment to things and everything gets ripped away from you, what's left? It's just you and God or light or...
So interesting, as you had mentioned before, it was like a harbinger of what you said before, is the fact that you have to go through things first and then the rest of society. So you, in a way, through your illness, lost your identity. And then as you were healing, the pandemic came. And so you
like
already...
the tidal wave hit me first. I came up for air and was like, I'm free. I'm ready to get back. And I look around.
Like, bah!
And then everybody else is like drowning in the wave. I'm like, son of a...
But I think the thing is, because you've already gone through that, it didn't really, it didn't knock you down as hard, this corona aspect, because it's like you had already faced it and you had worse. It was almost like this was like small potatoes.
Oh, this is small potatoes compared to what I went through in 2019.
Yeah.
When you're, and this goes for anybody who's
had... So can you maybe talk about, I guess,
yeah,
what
like
happened?
long story short, I had a reaction. I was poisoned by an antibiotic called Levaquin, which is in the same family as Cipro, fluoroquinolone. They're actually taking Levaquin off the market. This drug almost killed me. It was hell on earth. So, but in it, I lost, couldn't keep my job going. I still kept clients, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Friends left me. Relationships disintegrated. Like, who was really there for me showed. But I was really left alone. They call it, in a spiritual world, they call it dark night of the soul. It's really, and we all like have at least one of them in a lifetime, or a couple. Yeah. It's you, or just one really big one. And it's when everything that you do to feel enjoyment is taken from you. Yeah. I didn't have any way to enjoy anything. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't take a shower. I couldn't handle heat. I couldn't go in the sun. I was in chronic pain constantly. I couldn't work. I mean, I was, but I was like barely working. I couldn't sing. I couldn't play piano. I couldn't paint. It was like, so what's left when like there's no place for me to find enjoyment, and you're broken into this, you get kind of like smashed into all these pieces, and what comes out is who you really are, and then you can lead into the world in that nature without the attachments, without the conditions, without the identity. Like, if I don't do this is not who I am anymore, and if this record doesn't go well, then I'm giving up. Like, we have to release our attachments, because it's all abundant and everything is there for us. Yeah. So we're looking at a very wonderful rebirth. This is like collective dark night of the soul. Yeah. And I know a lot of people who had the dark night of the soul prior to this, the last couple years. I have a lot of clients, like we've all just been going through it. And we will, it's going to be like a golden age of music and art and film.
A renaissance
almost,
right?
Yeah, and it's going to be really high vibration. Yeah. Because all the other systems that are being pulled from us, and this lack of everything we were attached to in conditions and traumas, is literally going to be vibrating so low that we're not even going to want to go in there. We're going to rise to like a higher vibration way of living. Abundance is everywhere. We're going to be able to manifest great wealth. Creative people are going to be like, in my download, creative people are going to be like actually really paid and honored for what they bring to the table.
But I think, so the image of you with the shattering and then coming, I almost think of you as a genie rising up. But I just, that is so hard when you have nothing to remind yourself of who you are, to persevere, because, I mean, I had something that somewhat, I don't know, you could say is a
injuries
similarity.
Will do it.
I was at the height of my soccer career, being scouted to 3 different teams, including the Olympic development team, 13 years old, and I tore my ACL, which is not horrible, but it's going to take at least 4 months of recovery, and you were in tip-top shape and whatnot. And I remember it just being so mentally challenging for me. And even the orthopedic surgeon told my dad, he said, just speaking with your daughter, I think it's not going to be the physical recovery, it's going to be her psychological recovery. Because I tend to be very, very hard on myself. So, so I mean, the fact that your voice and your ability to do art, and then again, your profession as a makeup artist and eyebrow artist, I feel that was a lot to lose.
I lost it all.
Yeah.
I lost everything.
Still,
I lost everything that felt good. Yeah. And it was when I could finally, I remember I had no pain. I started having no pain like 6 months in. Yeah. Days, like moments of no pain. And I remember like I finally had lost the pain in my legs, went away for a couple hours. Like I had nerve pain, tendon pain. I mean, it was constant. Yeah. Joint pain. And my thighs, I remember being in the bath because I could finally be in warm water. And I kissed my thighs myself. And I just said, I love you and I will never put you second or third or fourth. my body, my health, my mind, my everything is number one.
Yeah.
First, health.
Yeah, yeah.
Health was always last for me.
Yeah.
The ambitions were first.
But if you think about it, I mean, it's like your money, your power, that's all meaningless unless
if you don't have health.
I mean,
you learn it when you lose your body or you lose your mind or you lose your health. And this is the thing about, people who've gone through injuries and illness or traumatic experiences where they, AA, or if they were addicts, or anybody who's gone through this ripping the dark night of the soul when it comes to your body or your health or your mind, like you really do take care of your body afterwards.
Yeah.
Because you're like, what's all this even matter if I can't even stand up?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So I was going to say, again, some of those bangers I alluded to, most of them have this sort of kind of encouraging, inspirational, prophetic kind of lyrics. Motivate, Machine, It's Sacred. Are there any that, what you were just talking about in terms of like recovery, any of those that you think really sort of kind of speak to that, or do they all really?
What's funny is I haven't written since I've gotten better.
Yeah.
And I didn't write when I was ill. And I don't know. I wrote in a jam, and you wrote it down for me.
Yeah.
I've written some lyrics and some poetry, and I've tinkered. But like, as far as healing goes, I haven't had. I don't think it's time yet.
Yeah.
However, the song that does resonate, that's helped. My own music has helped me heal.
Yeah.
The stuff I wrote before I got sick, like Motivate, is kind of what I'm stepping into soon.
Yes.
I'm actually really embodying uncertain times right now, which is interesting. It was written 4 years ago, but Motivate is, it's time for the maker. It's time for the maker.
Yeah.
All the soul shakers call the creator. Because I think we're going to start revving up to being able to get out more. And once we go through this next wave and we kind of hit spring next year, we'll be able to start creating more.
I was gonna say, I think once we start to have more wind under our wings, Motivate, that would be like perfect
time to just like kind of like,
because I think right now you're right. Maybe it's like people would roll their eyes and be like, "Not yet, Sarah. We're not there yet.
We're not even. I can't even motivate to get out of the house, to get in the car, to drive down to the grocery store to get some toilet paper because I don't even want to go in the grocery store right now."
Which we now have to fight to again because people are freaking out. But this is the lyrics. And what was so great is you sang that you had a birthday gathering at the end of August in Griffith Park. That was really nice, distanced, masks,
outdoor jam.
Yes, and. So this particular song, what was so cool, I'll speak to the lyrics first, but rise to the occasion, there's enough strength going around. And I love that because it's like, it doesn't necessarily need to be your strength. You can get it from anybody else, but there's enough strength between your friends and people that can help support you and lift you up. The greatness is born through the perils of pain. The interesting thing is, like you said, you didn't write this during the perils of pain, though.
No. It's like I prophesized I was going to go through major pain.
That's crazy. That's absolutely
I'm
nuts.
telling you, it's crazy ass shit. When I was sick and I was suffering, I was like, you son of a bitch, you made this happen to yourself.
You freaking wrote this script.
I remember being to God, I was like, you freaking... I remember him telling me, or just being like, you asked for this. I was like, I need to be careful what I write. Because I did. I
know. It's like you almost like lived like
I'm living my song.
Right?
Yeah, I'm living my songs.
Yeah.
It's trip.
But I love it. So I won't give up again. And then I love this because it's time for the maker, all the soul shakers, call the creator. You may be the creator though. No. And then even those heartbreakers, we got to motivate. And I feel like that part is going to be so much fun eventually again when we're in crowds and it's just like that chorus.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the part I believe that when at the Hotel Cafe where I started to like want to crawl on stage and I probably had like my carotid that was like bulging outside, my neck and like being like this.
You were like, yeah.
I'm like, I'm not motivate. If it's anything I do, I am going to motivate.
You know.
I have to get down on my knees.
Actually, you've been motivating me.
Oh, well, it's a symbiotic
to come back into this vibe.
Because
I got shot way out.
I love it. I mean, if I had your talent, please. I love
thank you.
it.
I appreciate that reflection. I do.
Well, I appreciate you. So, and then wake up, do what you love. Even if you got to let go of all the weight that holds you back, a true maker will always follow its path. No more negativity for the people, humanity. And I love that too because, so many people, it's like they take the easy route, Or you'll just, I can't do that, it's like, well, that's really saying it's like laziness, you know? Sometimes pursuing what you love, the heart, there might be a little bit more, stuff you have to weed whack in the way to get there. But
the thing is when you're going to actually pursue something that is powerful and is part of your purpose.
Yeah.
And this goes for every human being, is the lessons of like, Stephen Pressfield, or like, who else talks about Elizabeth Gilbert, Eckhart Tolle, all these. The thing is, when you are in alignment with your purpose, like when you first start it, there is this level of like weed whacking that you have to go through.
Yeah.
There is a breaking point where, we've been taught like you have to suffer for your art. Mm-hmm. I think that's an old paradigm.
Yes.
I think we're breaking that now.
Yeah.
You do not have to suffer for your art.
Yeah.
And maybe the world that we're stepping into will actually support the creative process.
Yes.
So we don't have to suffer to be creative.
Yeah.
We can just get to be who we are and be honored for that.
Yeah.
Things are going to change. It's not going to, I think all of us, we're going against the machine. Mm-hmm. The machine, as we speak, is breaking down. We're watching it disseminate. Obviously, it wasn't a very good machine because it fell apart the second it got challenged.
Yeah.
So we're looking at a completely different operating system in our society and within ourselves. So I'm hoping with surrender and self-love, we're not fighting and weed whacking anymore. We're just walking through this jungle and it moves for us.
Yes.
I've been told this, and I've had a lot of information channeled to me, that the way of the warrior doesn't exist in the new paradigm that we have evolved into. Mm-hmm. It's the way of the ambassador. We are ambassadors.
Okay.
So that actually is nice. You're like, I don't have to bring my sword.
Yeah.
You do have to set strong boundaries, though.
Yes, that's the thing.
That's your sword now.
Yeah, no, but I absolutely love Motivate. And like I said, I think once people start to get a little bit more hopeful, then this is like the perfect.
It'll get made, finally.
This is the perfect drop.
It hasn't gotten made yet.
Wow.
And so, how many people told me they want to record this? And it's like, I'm like, who's ready? And I think people aren't ready yet.
Oh, yeah. Well, and that's what's so funny
is
going back to when you played this again at your birthday gathering. What was so cool is that I remember this dude was just meandering around the fence.
The flute
and
guy?
And he had like a windpipe flute or wind flute or
I don't know. He was from like
the Andes.
The Andes.
His name was Andy from the Andes. It's like, who are you? I'm Andy from the Andes.
Can I play with you? We're like, yeah.
Well, he just starts like finessing this like flute line behind, because you had guitar and you had the box drum.
Yeah, cajon.
And then the cajon. And then he just starts layering these flutes. And we were like.
And he killed it, man.
Oh my gosh.
And see, you will always find music.
Yeah.
It's always there for you.
I mean, he couldn't even really speak English, but yet his flute was saying everything he needed to say.
Yeah, he wanted to play.
And he was smiling afterwards, and then he was like, thank you.
We were so happy.
Oh my God.
That was a great birthday.
Cool. But I was even thinking to myself, like, wow, maybe that was sort of this, I don't know, premonition that like flute could also work. Mm-hmm. I know it's maybe not something you necessarily thought of, but it's like, that's sometimes where the coolest discoveries, it's like happen chance,
Yeah, I'm open. I definitely like really feeling the saxophone.
Oh, the saxophone has had such a recent revival.
I mean, it's just never gone anywhere. It's so sexy. And you don't need a lot of it.
Yeah.
And you get just exactly what you need.
So the Natural Supernatural, and then another band you like turned me on to hardcore is Mafa
Rico.
And their saxophone's amazing. And it's interesting because I kind of like the saxophone more with sort of a kind of a rock sort of psychedelic band versus just saxophone with jazz
or blues.
It doesn't speak to me as much there, but it's like when the sax is all of a sudden like cutting through a Jimi Hendrix style guitar, then I'm like, oh yeah.
I know. Anytime you throw a horn into some rock, it's a really cool.
And both of those bands execute it flawlessly, and you're just like,
even
where
trombone
the hell did
is
this
pretty
come
cool
from?
in rock.
Trumpet sometimes too as well. Saxophone was the instrument I dabbled with for like 2-3 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, I perfected Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and then I dropped the sax. I said, I'm over.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm done.
I got it.
I want to exit on a high note.
Yeah. Learned one song, and I'm out.
I mean, just music did not come to me naturally. Like, I could slide tackle somebody on the field and score a goal. Like,
that
that's
does not
what
surprise me.
But that's, and again, that's probably one of the reasons why I feel like music is so therapeutic to me is because I'm not, as I'm watching a band, I'm not actually analyzing it. I mean, maybe if I know I'm going to be writing a review, I do tend to pick up some things here or there. But I feel like when you're a player, when you play music, you have a tendency to critique maybe the instruments that are the instruments you've mastered. But you know, that sort of sometimes takes away from the magic of just removing all that.
I'm really lucky that I notice things for sure. If somebody's not in key when they're singing, I notice like, I mainly notice like engineering, like live shows, like the mix.
Yeah.
That's the stuff
like the sound guy's not on.
Yeah, like that stuff is the stuff that bothers me.
Girl. Yeah.
If the mix is bad, I have to go. I like can't.
Yeah.
But like in general, I'm pretty like, I'm not totally trained.
Yeah.
I'm very fluid. Like I have a lot of freedom.
Yeah.
So technical things don't bother me as much. But when it comes to engineering, that stuff like sound, like you know. But I always appreciate everybody who gets up on stage and pours their heart out.
Yeah.
For me, it's always like not really the voice. It's always like what's behind the voice.
Yes.
You know, that like really just like I can feel that raw emotion. Someone who's really being stripped down.
This is what came through with both my podcasts with Kat and with Carly. So number 1 and 2, you're number 4, which is awesome. Honored. But Kat said, you know, one of her favorite songs that both Dolly Parton did and Celine Dion. Celine Dion would probably be sort of revered as having it more technically executed, but she's like, that doesn't matter to me. She said, Dolly Parton, I can feel the heart. That's the song where I'm louder than chills, because it's almost as if like the emotions are more palpable. And as Carly was saying, it's like, I mean, nobody's really going to care if you miss a note. But if you're not singing with this like fire behind you, this fire in your belly, it's like people aren't going to,
It's like just being present.
Yeah.
You can tell when people aren't
And there's
present.
also pain behind something too. It's like, oh shit.
And it can be cathartic.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It can. It's interesting. I think the reason I haven't written too is I wrote for the most of the time I've been a songwriter, I've been writing from a place of pain, emotional pain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because I'm empathic and I feel a lot of, I don't resonate with pain anymore. Me and pain are done.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We had our time in the sun.
There was something that you...
Yeah. But I don't identify with pain anymore. But I did for a long time in my creative process. And I think now I just really resonate with like joy. So I don't know what that looks like yet.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking, one of the things you posted on Facebook was, as much joy as I feel, equal pain is delivered. That's the evolving soul's heart. It's a powerful machine. Maybe this was alluding to you playing Powerful Machine, but also I love what you have just under your Facebook profile is here to serve beauty and light in the world through creative expression. So again, you're that light, you're that
beautiful
candle.
Things. It's all about the beautiful things.
Yeah. But you know, again, like you said, being empathetic, and I do think that comes through with all of your songs, because even Sacred Kind, and I know that's Nicole Jaffe's favorite song. She's mentioned that, and she's, you know, a great musician, and she's always like, play Sacred
Nicole.
Kind. Yeah. And I love that. Human Life. But again, all of these songs are where you're really speaking to your observations about people and their emotions, and it's like the only way that you can sing about that is if you are
feeling it.
Empath.
Yeah, I'm
because
feeling
you're
that.
Seeing not just your own emotions, but everybody else's.
I'm feeling. As well. I mean, I can talk to someone and feel exactly what's happening.
Yeah,
with them. The goal now, since I already had an illness, which is probably I had an illness because I was feeling everything.
Yeah,
is that I don't take it on.
Yeah,
I can feel a little bit of it, but like I need to border how much emotion I absorb from other and pain, you know, feelings from other people. So I have to be very careful. But it's also people that drive me too. That's what's interesting. It fuels me.
Yeah,
I'm an empath.
Get rid of those.
I'm an extroverted empath. Yes. Yeah. Oh, I had a lot of vampires in my life. I had no idea.
I feel like you should write a song about an emotional vampire.
Yeah. Oh, they were everywhere.
Yeah.
They were. I didn't even know. I had no idea. I was like, why am I so tired all the time? I'd have people's conversations in my head. I'm like, I think I'm them for a week. I'm like, why am I so concerned with all their problems?
Yeah.
And that's just, I have to learn how to like, you know, not let people hook up to me, you know?
Yeah, because people are looking for those crumbs. Nom, 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 nom,
yeah. They hungry.
Yeah. So any other, I don't know, vocalists that you would, maybe I can do like a far-reaching one, and then maybe somebody that's kind of more in your realm that you would like to collaborate with?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay. Wow. I've never been asked this question.
Sorry.
And we can make dreams happen in my head right now. Who would I love to collaborate with? Like locally or like?
That's what I was saying. We can have like a local sort of branch, but then maybe a far-reaching one, like more of like a Stevie Nicks.
Yeah,
or
like a dream.
Yeah.
Obviously, I would love to work with like, let's go big, Anderson .Paak.
Wow.
Or even Kendrick Lamar.
You know who a big fan is? Jesse Nolan. Jesse Nolan of
Yeah.
Platigos is a big fan of.
Jesse is,
Yeah.
Old time like friend. Like I haven't seen him in a long time, but
Yeah.
he shot my music videos like 10 years
I was
ago.
actually going to get to that. So you posted, it was right before Halloween, that your first ever song and music video, Meant to Be, right? Mm-hmm. Correct. That had over 60,000 views. It was so beautifully done.
Thanks.
But you said Jesse helped with some
he directed it.
Directed it.
Yeah,
okay.
he shot it.
Okay.
It was so fun. We had so much fun. This was when a loft downtown was the loft that we shot in. It was like a 2-bedroom loft that we got hooked up because my girlfriend knew the building manager. This place went for $1,700 a month. Wow. This was right when people were moving downtown LA. Wow. Now that place is worth probably like $6,000 a month. Yeah, maybe lower now because of everything going on. But like we were able to get cool locations, and he was, Jesse's super creative. He's a visual guy as much as he is an audio guy too. Mm-hmm. Like he has really good editing skills and stuff like that too, and he's really good behind the camera. Mm-hmm. So we had a lot of fun, and his friends are all super cool.
I urge everybody to check that out because the candle scene was amazing. You had it seemed like you had 1,000 tea light candles.
We lit like hundreds of them, and then we put on the air conditioning because we were hot, and then it blew out half of them.
Oh my God.
We were like, no!
Oh, man.
And it was crazy. After we shot that music video, first song I ever wrote called Meant to Be, I got in a car accident right after. 2012, the night of July 3rd, under the full moon, I got rear-ended at 65 miles an hour. I got knocked out. I was actually just on the phone with Jesse. I hung up the phone and got rear-ended. I got knocked out. I woke up. My car was on fire. I was in the hospital for a couple nights. A guy crowbarred me out of my burning vehicle.
Holy shit. You literally are a phoenix.
It's happened to me twice now. 2 near-death experiences. I am good. But I had barbecue lighter fluid in the trunk of the car because Jesse was like, get barbecue lighter fluid and we'll put for the tea lights so they burn, so they light easy. So I was like, yeah, good call. So, because we're smart,
Yeah.
So I keep it in the trunk of my car because it was 4th of July and I'm going to a client's house for 4th of July in Hermosa and I was driving up from San Diego. So I was like, I'll just keep it in my car. One of my engineer friends, Randy, was like, do you understand that thing is like a bomb? Oh, yeah, I know. Because the guy crowbarred me out of the car. I looked to my right. I had one shoe on. I had my purse in there. I had my brand new MacBook Pro. I had like these glasses that look like this from the 1960s, but they were black. I had like all this stuff in my car. And I was like, no. And then they're like, run, run. And I was like, it's gonna blow. And my car just went whoom and it burnt. It was a 4-car pileup.
They should have had that at the scene of the music video.
No shit. And it burned for 5 hours. I shut down the freeway and I'm just standing. I got blood coming down my face. I'm like, what the? And I had no idea what my name is. I didn't know where I was. What? They took me to the hospital and I was like, can you guys play some Zeppelin or something? Because this is some gnarly shit. Like, I need to hear some tunes.
Yeah.
So we get to the depends how much you want to know, but I met this guy in the hospital. His name was Ted, and he was wearing this pinstripe hat and vest. He looked like he was from the 1940s. And he came and he talked to me. He's like, I'm Ted, this old guy with bright blue eyes. And he's like, I'm going to call your mom. I'm worried she's going to get in a car accident because I shut down the freeway. And I want to make sure she gets here safely. Yeah. So he calls her, and there's all these accidents because it's 4th of July, 2012. So he calls my mom's like, who's this guy who's calling me? He's like, take the other route. So she drives through, and he called her twice, calmed her down. She thought it was kind of weird, too. Who's this guy calling me, right? Holds my hand as they're cutting off my clothes, and I'm holding his hand. I'm like, God, I hope my head's okay. And he's like, you're going to be fine. I'm like, they're taking me in for the MRI. And he walked with me. He's the most smiley guy ever. And my mom, next thing you know, he's gone. I'm in the bed, hotel bed, no hospital bed.
Hospital bed.
I have been in a lot of hotels, but I was in a hospital bed and I'm laying there. And then my mom comes in and she's like, Sarah, she said she pulled up to the hospital. He called her twice and he was waiting for her in his 1940s gear. She walks in and he goes, Pamela? And she's like, yeah. He's like, I'm Ted. I'm going to take you to Sarah. And he did not check her in. Nothing. Took her straight to my room.
Wow.
We were talking about Ted, the guy that volunteers in like the emergency room to like my nurses.
Yeah.
And my nurse was like, this is a couple days later. She's all, Ted, who's Ted? We're like, Ted, he's like volunteers. She's like, there's no volunteers in the emergency room.
Oh my God, I'm like chills all over my body. It was
Hug my angel or something.
What the
fuck?
fuck?
And so we were like, and we cleared it with another nurse. And my mom and I are like, you got chills, because I always get
Holy
chills when I
shit.
talk about Ted. And I actually met Ted in a dream before I got sick again.
Whoa.
He's like, you need to take care of yourself. And that's when I got sick.
Holy shit.
Yeah. My mom met him and everything.
Whoa.
And she even looked at, I don't know if she ever traced the number back. I was
is
really
crazy.
injured. Like I had a concussion
Yeah.
for like months. I was effed up. And yeah, we don't know. I mean, and then the guy who pulled over, like Rob, I talked to him on the phone months later. I'm like, thanks for saving my life. And he's like, no problem. And I'm like, why'd you have a crowbar in your car? And he's like, I have no idea. I put it in there a week before. I just had a feeling I needed a crowbar.
Sarah, man.
Yeah.
I'm like fucking lathered with chills. This is ridiculous. First of all, I think I don't know, like a tribute to Ted sounds
I
about
know.
right.
Ted's done though with me
Jesus,
almost
I
dying. He's
know.
so tired. He's like,
He
I'm
made
done.
sure your brows were
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, he did.
You're just
My
like
face made it.
but mostly my brows, please. No scars on my brows, please.
Yeah, wild stories, man.
Wow, that is just wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Magical stuff.
Wow. Well, I guess, it was great to hear about your process with the video, also with Jesse. Do you have anything kind of like, how does that work? Are you always going to have a music video with every song, or?
Well, so I'm in a place where I took a major hiatus due to what happened in my personal life. And then now we're in a pandemic. So I'm kind of regrouping. I'm releasing Uncertain Times.
Yeah.
And that was recorded 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Never put it out. I'm going to put it out, and I'm hoping to attract
Yeah.
the
'Cause
next
we have a lot of
people to work with me so I can get these songs made. But I'm open for them to change. I'm open for everything to become more upbeat, more high vibe, more funk, more soul, more neo. Like I'm just open.
Like trip hop
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the goal. I'm
Yeah.
putting it out there I can't go look. If I seek this out, I'm going to fail. And I know why, because I have sought it out time after time again, and I always work with the wrong people when I look.
I think we just
like
came
dating.
to a conclusion.
It's like dating. I can't look.
I will be the one that scavenge.
You can scavenge. for
I'm
me.
going to
I can't
scavenge
do
for
shit.
you.
You have to bring it to me. I'm magnetic.
I'm one of the scrappiest MFers you'll ever meet.
What'd you say the other night?
I need to
Swarthy.
be swarthy and scrappy, and if I need to be incognito, I will. I'll hide behind a trash can and pop out and be like,
You in
"Hey,
that
sir."
trash can, by the way. She's like,
know
I'll
why.
sleep behind a trash can. I'm like,
I've
you're not
actually popped up-
sleeping behind a fucking trash can.
I popped up from one before
Oh, you have,
at a
I'm
cash
sure.
register at a Walmart in
Okay.
Vegas. Okay, it was empty and not filled with trash. It
This
was
is why we
clean.
hang out with you. You are a good time.
Exactly. So, another thing I would say, again, side note of you being an amazing musician and artist, is that you elevate everybody's fun switch to their highest notch. They are like the most fun when they're around you. Yeah. So
We're all just mirrors.
wow. Yeah.
I'm just happy to be alive at this point.
But I love that. And again, like, the music video part, we have a lot of friends that are so talented.
it's all gonna come
in
together.
the film editing. I mean, I could just think of like 5 people right now who, when you're ready, they're ready.
Yeah,
so,
we just got to get the vibe has to happen, the sound has to be right, and we got to track these songs, give them the life that they deserve.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's got to be fun.
Yeah.
I need to enjoy that process.
yeah.
I want to have fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. Yeah. What is one song that will sort of always live on for you and has been sort of a consistent inspiration?
That would be Harvest Moon by Neil Young.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
There's a magic in that song that no matter where it's played and who plays it, it's always got the same vibrational pull.
And I recall you playing this song at Little Joy February, of this year, essentially right before the pandemic, and with Anthony Marks on guitar, and it was so pretty. I mean, because you had sort of this time signature that I had never heard, and I loved your take on it. So
Thank you. I've been playing it for 8 years that way.
wow. Okay.
And, I actually was recording it years ago with this guy that I did together. We Rise with John Prince, or not John Prince, something along those lines. He's from Utah, but we never finished the Harvest Moon. So I do think it'll get done. It's just in the right people, the right sound, the right room, the right vibe.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't rush anymore. The days of like trying to make things happen, trying to be strategic.
Yeah.
those things don't really work. They worked for a while in my life. You know, in business, they worked for a while.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's a new way of being, and it's kind of like the surrender of like manifesting it to come to you and to open up, going with the flow. And you know, oh, that didn't work. Go to the right. What's next? Paying attention to the intuition, that nudge on the shoulder, or that go here. Connect with this person. This feels about right. Go where it feels good.
Yeah. Any other covers?
I started working on another cover. I forgot what her name is though. It's called "If You Let Me."
Okay.
I forget what the singer is. It's so good. It's an R&B song. Yeah. It's a R&B song.
Got it.
It's called "If You Let Me." Sorry, I can't remember her
voice,
but I started working on that. I used to cover. I love Nina Simone. Birds flying high, you know how I feel.
Yes.
Sun in the sky, you know how I feel.
Yeah,
you know?
There we go with that.
'Cause I'm feeling good.
I feel like your voice is like a nice roasted espresso with
Oh, really? Because I love coffee.
with
I
like
love coffee.
a hint of mocha. And
a little bit of Bailey's on the weekend.
It's so good. And I just again, you can have more of a jazz flair, but then you could have more of like a Janice where it's like the rock.
Yeah, I would like to like bridge this whole sound with it all. And just go with where the song takes you.
Yeah.
Have it be more of a collective experience of sound.
Yeah.
Versus one genre.
Yeah.
Because I love I love it all.
Yeah.
So I want it all to be in there.
Yeah. Except maybe techno. I don't know.
Actually, I do like techno.
Really?
Yeah, I'm more of a deep, I think, tech house.
More of like a drum and bass kind of like.
Yeah, tech house. It's kind of like, I think that would be like Tubenberger, or I'm a huge Bob Moses fan.
Yeah.
I've actually been to a lot of electronic festivals. A friend of mine is a huge techno head, so she dragged me across the world to some techno festivals. Not to, the drugs were more of my thing, but I did have a good time.
Nice. Well, and again, but like we said, kind of this like neo soul rock.
Yeah.
Kind of trip hop. And I remember recently introducing you to Alan Raymond. And the God is a Woman song. And like that style, I feel like, again, you accompanying on vocals, that style would be really, I don't know.
He's got
seamless.
his good bass.
Yeah.
I like his groove.
Yeah.
I'm all about that groove. He's got a really good groove in his music. And his output too. His emotional output when he sings gets you, just grabs you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, in terms of stage presence, like have you ever had issues sort of calming nerves? Because you seem like such a natural on stage. I mean,
I get really nervous, but I channel it.
All right.
It's kind of like right before you jump off a cliff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Into water.
You see the precipice and you're like, I'm about to go down, but I'm already doing it. So.
I mean, I used to shake really bad, but once I started, the more I get more confident, the more I play. So
yeah.
But I know I'm gonna like I'm gonna sweat. I'm gonna get queasy. I'm gonna be like I'm gonna But I've learned that you know what? It always freaking works out.
Yeah.
And then the shows that you work really hard for, where you control everything, and you're like, it gotta be. That's when the sound doesn't. You can't hear yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, half the time it's a crapshoot because you're not going to hear yourself when you're on stage half the time, or you're not going to hear the guitarist. You're not going to. So you really just have to like have zero expectations, do your best, and always give a good show, and never apologize to the audience for shit.
Yeah.
You know?
I was going to say, the more
like,
you
I have a sinus infection today. No.
No excuses. And also, the more you respect yourself, others are going to respect you, and just that sense of confidence. Because if you seem intrepid or like, I don't know, weak at all, I mean, it definitely comes across to the audience.
I think the main thing is that it's always a blessing and a privilege to be on stage.
Yeah.
People are here to hear you.
Yeah.
They're there to hear you, and you have a duty to be a performer.
Yeah.
That's it. And you can be vulnerable, and you can be real, and you can be honest, and that's what they want.
Yeah.
But you should be grateful every time you're on stage.
Yeah.
Because that's a blessing, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, clearly I've tried to get on sometimes. I gotta earn that. I dropped the sax too early before I got my time to shine. I'm just kidding.
Hey, everybody's part of the community.
Hey, if you ever need a resident stomper, I got a heavy heel.
I know, I've heard it. I've heard it.
I can come stomp on your songs. All right, awesome. I think
thanks for having me.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I
really appreciate it.
We will continue off camera.
Yeah. It's nice to meet everybody. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. I was going to say one of the things I could have asked, but that's going a whole another rabbit hole, is like touring.
Oh, that's so far.
That's a whole rabbit hole. Because it's like
it hasn't happened yet, and I can't even envision it. I'm just need to get the songs made.
Yeah, you are such a natural. Oh my gosh.
I want to be on the radio. Let's do it.
You just want to do an official sign off real quick?
Oh sure.
Yeah. So do you have an official sign off yet?
Not really.
So you got to get a tagline. You got to get you a tagline.
Or just wrapping it up.
Okay.
Beats that set my pulse.
And then you'll just splice this or something.
Yeah. We can
Okay. All right, Sarah. Well, thank you so much. I'm sure we could talk for another 8 hours plus.
It's true.
But and we probably will, if not just right after
the night is young.
This weekend. Yeah, exactly. But I think we gave just enough to whet everybody's beak. And they will hopefully all listen to Uncertain Times, which is now out on Spotify. And then those 5 additional bangers to come whenever the time is right.
We're just going to toss this line out, with Uncertain Times.
Yeah.
Trying to attract some energy.
And do you want to also
rest...
maybe give a plug to your art Instagram?
Yeah. I mean, you can follow me. My music is Esemae Music, ESEMAE_music. And then I also have, from there, you can link to my art Instagram, which is Esemae Art. And then, and then I have my business on there too, if you need brows.
Yeah. I mean, I have gotten my brows. I've gotten these daggers sharpened by you.
Rockin' brows, baby.
And I must say, you made them very nice. So thank you. Well, great. And maybe we'll have a round 2 at some point.
Yeah.
When there's more news. All
Sounds
right,
good.
Awesome. Thanks.
Okay, thanks for having me.